Hello dear kids, how are you all? I hope you have seen my previous video, the first war of independence. That was till 1857. Today I am going to explain what happened after 1857 in your chapter number 20. India wins freedom. Okay? The revolt of 1857 united the people of India. It made them feel that they belong to one country and not to a number of kingdoms. And it made them want to free the country from foreign rule. The Indians formed organizations to protest against the British. One such organization, the Indian National Congress, played an important role in many movements. In a movement, people get together to do things needed to get what they want. Now listen it carefully. Now the Indians started realizing that the British government purposely worked towards making India poor and backward. They felt the need for an organization that would help in educating Indians against the policies of the British. India saw some remarkable changes under the British Crown. Before the revolt of 1857, the British education policy opened the doors of Western culture. A small group of the Indian society became interested to study the ideas and spirit of the West. Mills were opened, railroads were established, English language was introduced in schools and colleges. The English language became popular as it opened paths to employment. Modern thoughts and outlook developed. It was the time when a group of the modern educated Indians began to realize why the country as well as the people were in poor condition. They wanted reforms of beliefs and customs in society. A great movement of reforms started. Many well-known social reformers took a leading part in the reform movement. Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, the Narayan Guru were some well-known reformers who tried to eradicate social evils like sati, child marriage and caste system from the society. They also promoted remarriage of widows. They felt that without this change in society, India would not be able to unite and fight the British. They wanted to build a modern society. They began to form associations, institutions, etc. of their own. They tried to draw the attention of the British rulers to their problems. In 1885, the Indian National Congress was set up to hear the grievances of the Indians. With this, the first organized political movement in India started. A.O. Hume, an Englishman, was the founder of this organization. The Indian National Congress, also called the INC. Now, our first movement is the Swadeshi movement. Many things the British did angered the Indians. The Indians were extremely angry when in 1905 the British divided Bengal into two parts, one part for the Hindus and the other for the Muslims. This was meant to break the unity of the Indian people. The Indians protested strongly. They refused to use British goods and started using only Indian goods. Indian goods means Swadeshi. Okay, thousands of men, women and young students protested on the streets and lit bonfires to burn British goods. Indians also stopped going to government schools, colleges, courts and offices. Ultimately, the British had to undo the division of Bengal. So class, the British were worried. They realized that if the people of India got united, they could easily throw the British out. One of the ways in which they could prevent Indians from uniting was to divide them on the basis of religion. They adopted the policy of divide and rule to create a rift between Hindus and Muslims. So in 1905, they decided to divide Bengal into two parts, one for the Hindus and other for the Muslims. The Indians protested strongly against the division of Bengal. The anger in the people gave rise to the Swadeshi movement. Swadeshi means own country. People pledge to use goods made in their own country and boycotted British goods. People were fined and mercilessly beaten, but ultimately the opposition to the partition of Bengal was successful and the British were forced to reunite the Bengal in 1911. Now next, Gandhiji and mass movements. Many great leaders took part in our fight for freedom. One of the greatest was Mahatma Gandhi, a firm believer in truth and non-violence. He led our people in a struggle without using any force. Under him, our fight for freedom became a mass movement, that is, a movement in which all kinds of people joined, including the old, young, rich, poor, men, women, villagers and city people. Now next, non-cooperation movement. In 1919, hundreds of unarmed Indians were killed and wounded when the British shot at a peaceful gathering in a park called Jallianwala Bagh at Amritsar in Punjab. In protest, Gandhiji started a mass movement in 1920. It was called the Non-Cooperation Movement. People refused to cooperate with the British or do what the British wanted. They gave up government jobs and titles, stayed away from government schools, colleges and courts, and stopped using British goods. Gandhiji asked people to wear khadi, a kind of cloth woven by hand from thread spun with a charkha. Unfortunately, after the police shot at a peaceful procession, a group of people killed some policemen. As Gandhiji was against violence, he stopped the movement at once. So class, this is about Jallianwala Bagh incident. On 13th April 1919, General Dyer attacked the peaceful gathering of villagers in the Jallianwala Bagh in Punjab. He blocked the gate of the park and ordered his troops to fire their guns on the people. Many people lost their lives and many were injured. Several persons jumped into the well of the park to escape the bullets. Now, non-cooperation movement. The tragedy of Jallianwala Bagh spread throughout the country. After this tragedy, under the leadership of Gandhiji, the non-cooperation movement was started in 1920. People boycotted courts, educational institutions, elections and foreign goods. A number of national schools were established in the country. The non-cooperation movement spread throughout the country. The movement inspired Subhash Chandra Bose to join the movement. Many young people also joined the movement. The Hindu-Muslim unity was seen. The British tried to detach the Muslims from the movement, which led to Hindu-Muslim riots. Gandhiji wanted this movement to run peacefully without any violence. The movement was successful for some time. Suddenly, the farmers in Chora-Chori turned violent. They set fire and burned to death 22 policemen in a police station. Gandhiji was unhappy with this violence and he withdrew the movement immediately. And Gandhiji was arrested. Now, next movement is Civil Disobedience Movement. In 1930, Gandhiji led a movement called the Civil Disobedience Movement. In this, people protested by breaking unfair laws. Gandhiji began the movement by breaking a law that did not allow Indians to make salt. He led a procession from his home near Ahmedabad to the coastal village of Dandi. There, he broke the law by collecting natural salt from the beach. This event is called the Dandi March. The civil disobedience movement spread all over India. Everywhere people broke unfair laws and went on strikes. Some people even stopped paying taxes. Okay? In December 1929, the Congress demanded complete independence from the British government. The civil disobedience movement began in early 1930 under the leadership of Gandhiji. The movement began with the Dandi March. Indians were not allowed to make salt. Gandhiji and his followers walked from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi near Surat along the coastal of Gujarat. Here Gandhiji made salt and broke the salt law. The movement soon spread to other parts of India. Now next movement is Quit India movement. In 1942, the Congress started the Quit India movement, demanding that the British quit India. Gandhiji called upon the Indians to do or die. That is either free India or die while trying to do so. The British arrested Gandhiji, Jawaharlal Nehru and many other Congress leaders. There were protests all over India and people destroyed symbols of British rule such as railway tracks, post offices, police stations and so on. Now next is revolutionaries. The revolutionaries were those who believed that the British could be defeated only by the use of force. They formed groups and secretly learned to use weapons and to make bombs. Their activities included looting government money for buying weapons, killing cruel British officers, and so on. Many revolutionaries like Khudiram Bose, Ram Prasad Bismil, Bhagat Singh and Chandrasekhar Azad gave their life for the country. Class, after the partition of Bengal, several young Indians started using more violent means to fight the British. They formed groups to fight the British and were willing to sacrifice their lives for the country. They were called the revolutionaries. The movement spread to many Indian states. The movement, however, was not very successful since the revolutionaries resorted to violent means of protest. They were not joined by the general masses or people. The Second World War started in 1939. Most countries of the world got involved in this war. Subhash Chandra Bose wanted to free India with help from countries that were Britain's enemies. He was arrested, but he escaped from India. He joined Indians who had formed the Azad Hind Fauj or Indian National Army. Class, during the Second World War, the Indian National Army was formed with the great efforts of Rash Bihari Bose. There were nearly 45,000 soldiers in the INA. Subhash Chandra Bose became the commander-in-chief of the Indian National Army. Okay. He took command of this army and attacked India with help from Japan. He captured parts of Manipur and Nagaland, but the British soon won back these areas. Bose escaped but was believed to have died in a plane crash in 1945. Okay, Subhash Chandra Bose, or Netaji as he was fondly addressed, played a significant role in India's freedom struggle. He was earlier a member of the Indian National Congress and was elected as its president twice. He was jailed many times. Subhash Chandra Bose went to Japan where he assumed charge of the Indian National Army, INA, also known as the Azad Hind Fauj. The INA is also known for its contribution to the cause of Indian independence. Unfortunately, the Japanese were defeated and the INA eventually collapsed, destroyed. However, the INA and Subhash Chandra Bose will always be remembered for their contribution to India's freedom struggle. Okay, now freedom. The mass movements made the British realize that they would not be able to run the government in India for much longer. So they started plans to leave India. One of the things they did before leaving was to divide our country into two parts, India and Pakistan. India became independent on 15th August 1947. The rulers of some kingdoms within India also had the choice of being independent, but Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel made them agree to join India. There were still some areas under French or Portuguese control. They became part of India by 1961. These areas are Goa and Pondicherry. So how India gains independence? After many years of struggle, India finally gained independence from the British rule. However, this independence was gained at a price, the division of India into two nations. Lord Mountbatten, the last Viceroy of India, announced plans for the division of the former British colony into two nations, India and Pakistan. India became independent on 15th August 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister of independent India and Dr. Rajendra Prasad the first President. But Gandhiji's dream of an undivided India was broken. So class, this is all about your India wins freedom or our freedom. So please read the chapter. and fill the bookwork. Thank you.